Hi friends, I'm so excited to have you here today, and this video is going to be one that's very special because it's all about you and how special you are. We're going to start by reading a story about a little boy imagining if he could be any animal in the world, what he would choose for just one day. And then we're going to sing a song and do a little rhyme and a project that you can do at home, and I bet you'll have a lot of fun with. So let's start with our story. This book is titled For Just One Day. The author is Leuck, and the illustrator is Mark Boutavant. Let's see what he chooses. See all of our beautiful illustrations of animals? There are lots to choose from, even a snowman. For just one day. For just one day, I'd like to be a busy, buzzing bumblebee. The flowers would belong to me if I could be a bumblebee. But what if I could swim the Nile? The Nile is a big river in Africa. And be a creeping crocodile. I'd have the sharpest snapping smile if I could be a crocodile. I'd climb a big banana tree. That's if I were a chimpanzee. I'd pick the ripest bunch for me if I could be a chimpanzee. Or maybe I'll just flutter by and be a monarch butterfly. Remember, we know it's a monarch butterfly because it has orange and black. I'd fly down low, I'd fly up high if I could be a butterfly. For just one day, I'd like to shake my tail and be a rattlesnake. Oh, what a slithering sound I'd make if I could be a rattlesnake. Are you hearing all the rhyming words? Fun, huh? If I could have a spiky spine, I'd get to be a porcupine. A spine is the bone that goes down your back. And a porcupine has spines, needles, along the back of his body. A coat of needles would be fine if I could be a porcupine. My floppy ears might look quite funny if I were a hopping bunny. I'd find a field that's bright and sunny if I were a hopping bunny. For just one day, if I could dare, I'd be a growling grizzly bear. I'd give my brother quite a scare if I could be a grizzly bear. But then again, I'd like to sail across the sea and be a, whale. I'd have the most gigantic tail if only I could be a whale. Wow, what a beautiful whale with all the sea life around him. For just one day, one single day, I'd like to live a different way. I think it would be fun to fly and spend the day up in the sky, or dangle down from the highest tree, or dive deep into the deepest sea. And what if I had pointy claws, or floppy ears, or furry paws? I'd like to have some jagged jaws, but only for one day, because the other days I would want to be that special someone that is me. Do you see the mirror? Can you see yourself? And look at all of these friends. Those are called portraits, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Some of these portraits are of children who have ears or a froggy costume or a swim cap. Others are just how they look. Pretty fun, huh? So think about it. What animal would you be if you could be any animal in the world for just one day? I was thinking about it earlier, and I'll tell you soon. What we're going to do today, just like the book showed us, is make our own portrait. Can you say portrait? Very good, portrait. And a portrait is a painting or a drawing of yourself that you did, or that someone did of you, of how you see yourself and how your face looks. It's really fun to do a portrait when you're looking at a mirror sometimes, because you can notice things about your face, maybe the colors of your eyes, the shape of your nose, the shape of your chin, the size of your ears, the shape of your eyes. All of that you could notice maybe in a little more detail than you normally would just going about your day. So looking at a mirror when you do this at home will be tons of fun. So we're going to do a little project. I have some paper and markers and a ruler and scissors and glue. And if you want to do it with me, you can have all of those things too. To start us off, I'm going to be looking at my body and my head and my face to make a portrait. And I thought it would be fun to do a little rhyme about our body first. So I will say it and then you can say it with me, okay? Here are my fingers. Here is my nose. Here are my ears. Here are my toes. Here are my eyes that are open wide. Here is my mouth with my teeth inside. Here is my tongue that helps me speak. Here are my shoulders, and here is my cheek. Here are my hands that help me play. Here are my feet that go walking each day. Do you have all those parts too? Good. It's kind of fun to think about all the different parts of our body before we draw them, because then we might think, what am I missing? Did I get 2 ears, 1 nose, 2 eyes, and a mouth? I bet you did. So today I have a little table for us to do a project on. And we are actually going to do something kind of cool. That's called making a frame. And I have scissors, a ruler, a glue stick, and lots of beautiful pens. And I'm gonna save these down here. If you don't have pens or you don't have so many colors, that's okay. If you wanna use crayons or paints or pastels or pencils or clay, anything you would like to make your face with, you may. I'm choosing pens today. We're going to make a border, a frame first for our portrait. And I have 2 pieces of paper. My colored paper is going to be my border, my frame. And it's a little bit bigger, if you can tell, than my white piece of paper. So if you can make yours like that too, that'll be helpful. So I picked my favorite color, light blue. And I'm going to do a couple fun things. I'm going to start by drawing my border. So to do that, I'm lining my ruler up and I'm going to draw a line on each end, just the same distance away from the edge as the ruler is. Do you see what I did? I measured it to the side and then I did a line. I'm going to do the same on the top and the bottom. 1, 2. So now I have my whole border sectioned off. Now this is where the ruler comes into play. I'm going to find the middle of my paper My paper is about 12 inches. So in between 0 and 12 is 6. So I'm going to put a dot at 6. And then, my dot is in the middle, I'm going to draw a line with my 6 right underneath my ruler. You'll see in a moment. I'm going to draw a line on each side of my ruler. Do you see my 6 dot? That's my middle. And then I drew a line on each side. That's the space of a ruler. Are you ready for my trick? Okay. So we are going to fold paper in like this on one side and in like this on the other side. See what shape I made? And I'm going to use my scissors to cut on the line just enough to take out the middle. I don't want to disrupt the edges or else my frame will fall apart. I want it to stay intact together. So now I have a little cut here and here. Mom and Dad can help you with this. A little cut here and here. See how I have a couple cuts? Now I'm going to use my scissors and follow along the line I made for my border. One side, two sides. So what you're doing with all of these lines is making a frame, but your frame is going to have 2 spaces in it, and you'll see why in a minute. You see how I have my frame? It's going to look like this. Perfect. Now I'll cut out my other rectangle to be my other side of the frame. I'm just cutting along the inside lines. And again, if you need help or you need a grown-up to help you with the cutting or an older brother or sister, they can totally do that. I have my frame with 2 spots, 1, 2. Do you want to see what I'm going to do? Okay. I'm going to put my marker side up, and on the side that I drew with my markers, I'm going to use glue and put a line of glue all the way around the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is the outside, and 1 line down the middle. So now my whole backside has glue. Next, I'm going to take my white paper and set it in the middle and smooth it out. Do you guys want to see what we made? We made 2 frames. Awesome job. So now that I have my frame with my 2 spots inside, we're going to have one as a portrait of yourself. I'm going to draw myself and you get to draw yourself. And one is what animal you would want to be for just one day. Are you ready? Okay, let's start with the portrait of ourselves. I'm going to draw my outline of my skin, and I'm going to use this color. Does that look close to my color skin? I'm going to draw the outline of my head, which is kind of a circle with a point for my chin. There's the shape of my head. I'm going to do a nose, which is a line with a bump, and maybe a little hole for the nostril. Okay. I'm going to do 2 what? Don't forget your ears. 2 ears. 1, 2, with a little squiggly inside. See my ears? Very good. Now I'm going to do 2 eyes and just the outline, because in a moment I'm going to do the color of my eyes, which is kind of like a blue-green. And this is where looking in a mirror will be helpful. So I drew my eyes and my pupils. That's the color that's a beautiful color. It could be brown or caramel or hazel or green or blue. All of those are the colors of your pupil, the circle inside. I'm gonna do a little black dot in the middle of each eye because you have a black dot in the middle of yours. I have some pinky red lips today, so I'm going to use a dark pink for my mouth. This one kind of turned out purpley. That would be a fun color to wear, wouldn't it? All right, I have my eyes, my nose, my ears, my mouth. What am I missing? I need hair, don't I? So I'm going to use this color. Similar, yes? I'm going to start making wavy lines because my hair is quite curly today. It's a little curlier. Sometimes it's straight, sometimes it's in a ponytail, sometimes it's curly, sometimes it's in a braid. We have lots of different ways we can wear our hair, which is kind of fun. Today, since mine is down, I'm kind of drawing it long and down. Would you like to see? Mine kind of went over my ears. My portrait is coming along. I'm noticing I forgot my eyebrows. I feel like I need some eyebrows. So I'm going to do it with the same color I did my hair. There, that seems good. So I did some eyebrows, hair, eyes. I'm noticing I might need a little rosiness to my cheeks. I'm just gonna do a little circle on each cheek. And your portrait can look like you, or you can do something different and make it look how you think you feel, how you think you look. I'm also going to put my pink sweater that I have on, and my hair is coming over it. And I have a black shirt on underneath. I'll show you guys in just a moment. I'm going to color in my skin with that same skin color that we talked about earlier, that I drew the outline with. Oh, you know what I forgot? This might make it even more fun. I forgot some eyelashes. You guys have eyelashes? Yeah, my eyelashes are black. I'm gonna put some black eyelashes Here we go. There's my portrait. That's me. And I bet you guys are drawing awesome portraits of yourself. Now, let's think about what animal do we want to be for just one day? I've been thinking about it this whole time since we read our book. And you know, I kind of was inspired by one of the animals on the front. I was thinking of an animal that moves slowly, that lives in the forest, that typically stays on the ground. It might crawl a little bit high onto a tree, but not too high. It likes to hide, and it leaves a slimy trail. Can you imagine what I'm thinking of? A snail. I thought it would be so cool to be a snail. So I'm going to imagine the snail I would like to be, and I'm going to make up my own picture of that snail. It could be realistic if you want to have a realistic one, but mine's going to be imaginary colors. So I'm going to start with purple, which is another one of my favorite colors. And I'm going to make a spiral for my snail's shell. So that's how I started the spiral. I'm then going to connect it to its body. So I made my spiral. then I'm going to add some details. So there's my snail. You know what, one thing I thought was so cool about snails is how they have their big antenna with the little eyes on top. I think it's so cool that they can use those to, I think they can smell with them, they can see with them, they might even be able to taste with them, which would be so cool. I'm going to just do little details. They have little kind of bumpy feet on the bottom of their body, and their shell sometimes has a really cool design, and I like it. I like my snail. I'm excited to hear what animal you choose that you would want to be for just one day. Now, to remind me why I wanted to pick a snail, I was going to do some trees in the background for a forest. And trees are fun to draw, especially evergreen trees, because all you do is keep your pen at one spot and flare out. That means push down all the way in kind of a triangle motion, and then choose another one and do it again. I always liked drawing trees like that. And trees have leaves and branches, but they also need a trunk. So I have little trunks at the base, the bottom of my trees. And then I'm going to make a ground for my snail to slide across. What do you guys think? If for one day I could be an animal, I think I'd like to try being a snail. Now, do you see how my frame is bare? That means I didn't draw on it. Usually frames, when you have a picture frame in your house or you see one at a museum, usually the frame is quite simple. So your focus is the picture inside. You might want to make a little design around your frame if you'd like. Sometimes doing a pattern, which is taking multiple shapes or designs and repeating them, that might be fun. So I might take a light blue to kind of blend in with my light blue. And I'm going to do a dot, line, dot, line, dot, line, dot, line, dot. Did I do a pattern? I did. And I'm going to repeat. That means do it again, my pattern, and make a dot, line, along the bottom. I could do it on the sides, in the middle if I wanted, or I could leave it plain. Up to you. Now the last thing that's most important is that you sign your name on your work. So I'm going to write Laura on the bottom of my portrait and my animal. That way you know you are the artist of your work. Now we talked about how this day is special because it's all about you. Now I have one song for us to finish with and then I'll say goodbye. If you would like to sing with me, you may. I'll sing it 2 times so you can listen and then sing with me the second time. Ready? Special, special, special me. How I wonder what I'll be. In this big world I can be anything I want to be. Special, special, special me. How I wonder what I'll be. Would you like to sing along? Okay, are you ready? Special, special, special me. How I wonder what I'll be. In this big world I can be anything I want to be. Special, special, special me. How I wonder what I'll be. Very good. You could be anything you want in this whole world. Just remember, the #1 important thing to be is kind. to everyone and every little living thing around you. Nice to see you, my friends. I'll see you soon.